Oh my gosh! Today, I'm gonna play a new game, and it's called Narcissu. I know what it's about. It's about this person. I have the first and second one. Or the second side. Let's do that. That. Um, let's do unvoiced. Because I don't want to hear anything. It's just gonna be me. On a blindly bright day. On that. What? You don't let me read it. Stupid. Oh, look at the triangle. 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 Oh, I have to click? The population is going up from the July 2004 police statistics on. Oh. Shortly after entering into middle school. The day after I'd ordered a swimsuit for use the next month. My first hospitalization. On a day just before the first semester midterms. On a day when the first drops of rain were so cruelly cold. Such grammar! Yeah! Oh, I miss the pure white of the overcast sky. Of course, the first time it happened, all my classmates came to visit me almost every day. And when I was released, they even came to my house on weekends to play. But that was the first time around. Autumn into winter, winter into spring, a vicious cycle. Hospitalization, release, clinics, and hospitalization again. And before I knew it, even the classmates I once called friends turned into acquaintances, and then to strangers. As if with every changing of seasons, I was being erased from their collective memory. It seemed that all those normal people, my very existence was an unpleasant fact. And so, it looks like I've been erased. I may have read them wrong, I don't know. I spent so many seasons, so many white overcast skies, without the want or need to converse with anybody. For that matter, my English textbook never changed from that of a first-year middle school student before the first midterms. That is where my time seems to come to an end. Stage Nana, Volume 24. 8 years later, early summer 2004. Protagonist. Summer, flowing sweat. The gigantic electronics scoreboard in the driver's license examination facility lit up all at once. My eyes and everyone else's looked for our respective numbers. 237, 237, 237. And of some 8 columns of lit text. Sure enough, my examination number was shining in the midst. Clickety-clack. A nearly empty train car, perhaps thanks to the beautiful afternoon. Almost alone in that train car. I was heading back from the examination. My left hand held a new traffic regulations handbook, and my breast pocket held my brand new driver's license. Breast. So now I've got a license as well. I muttered somewhat happily, but there was no strange feelings about it. I never particularly wanted to drive a car. I never particularly wanted or had any motive for it. It was just that my colleagues in the technical institute both recommended that I at least get a driver's license. At night, when I told my parents that I'd gotten my license, they merely replied with an "I see." And when I asked if I could borrow the car, just for a test run, they instantly and curtly said just one thing: no. While I didn't really want to drive the car or anything, the response was all too expected. Those were my parents for you. The next day, I woke with chest pain and went to the hospital. Sickness and I generally had nothing to do with each other, which is why I found the ER waiting room to be utterly boring. Just like me talking, when's the interesting part gonna come up? And just when I thought they were through examining me, they ordered an x-ray and some blood tests. Then they left. Assholes! Don't just leave me there. And again, I was left waiting for a long time. I'd already polished off 3 volumes of Shonen Jump and was just about to start on the 4th when... Wait. What Shonen Jump book? What manga? What one? Naruto? Bleach? Which one? They admitted me to the hospital right then and there. And it seemed that my new license, which still lay snugly in my breast pocket, would have to wait a long time for its turn to come. It's so sad. Are we gonna actually do stuff now? No? Is this all that it is? Right around when all too noisy cicadas, that's what I'm gonna call them, cicadas, had finally gone silent. I once again found myself in the hospital, as per usual. Of course, it wasn't as if I'd been there the entire time. I came and went, a futile cycle. Thus said for it all. My first surgery was a month before. After that, I started doing the 5-minute commute to and from the hospital by moped. And from then on, I was hospitalized, discharged, ordered to clinic, and hospitalized again and again and again. Well, I still had no clue what PET or IRESA stood for. In no time at all, several months had already passed. As my appetite decreased, my medications increased, I could feel my own physical strength atrophying away? Atrophying? I'm gonna say atrophying. I kept imagining that my legs were getting thinner. But the needle of the weight scale rudely informed me, it's not just your imagination. And yet, I kept looking at myself with a detached interest, as if it were happening to somebody else entirely, as if I were looking at a scene on TV or the like. My mind could not grasp what had so suddenly happened to my body. Nothing within me was telling me that this was real at all. And that's why, even though it was all happening to me, I kept looking on it as if it were happening to someone far away. Now it's winter! A day of winter, around when the Christmas trees had vanished from the streets. I was discharged home as a kind year's end treat. It seemed like an exercise in total transience, but still it made me slightly happy. I traveled back to a home I had not seen in a long time in the midst of a freezing rain. Strangely enough, my entire family was there. My parents, who had never so much as talked to me, came out to meet me, if with terribly stilted smiles. And my little sister, with whom I'd never had a pleasant word, had made my favorite cream stew, fried shrimp, just for me. They made me sit at the table. They peeled tangerines for me. They were cruelly kind. It was an impressive display. At this point, a little thought occurred to me about my new driver's license, which was still stuffed away in my pocket. That perhaps things would end for the license without it ever having known any use. And surrounded by a trio of stilted, strained smiles, I kept that thought, as if I were someone else's business, with dispassion, ambiguity, and total disinterest. January. Still winter. A new year began, and I returned to the hospital. But on this day, instead of my usual 4F room, I ended up in a conference room of sorts. They took me there. And then my father and the doctors had a little talk. I joined in. Well, they talked to me. So this was their so-called announcement. They said it in a terribly roundabout fashion, but they told me that I was going to die. I see. That was my only reply. I had no other words. It was the only thing that I left my mouth from beginning to end. And the doctor's ballpoint pens flew across paper as if in response to my words. Those were probably hospice enrollment procedures. Business like to last. My father was the same. So it's this simple. Was the only real thought I had? That day, I was transferred from 4F to 7F, from a 6-person room to a private room. It was a little different from the other wards, this 7F. First of all, the floors were sparkling clean, and second of all, The ceiling was higher than I'd ever seen it. The rooms were very nice, and had large windows from which the warm daylight streamed in as if by design. But the windows only opened a little. I tested them out, and my head would just barely fit up. The color of my ID bracelet had changed as well. The bracelet that I had worn ever since the first hospitalization, the one that had my name and blood type recorded on it, its color had now changed from blue to white. A high ceiling, a white vinyl bracelet, a window that would not open more than 15 centimeters. A TV program celebrating the new year was still playing when I was transferred to this 7F. And it was at the dawn of that very year that I met her for the first time. Narcissu! Are we finally getting somewhere now? Jesus. Oh no, more talking. Winter. There was this place kind of like a lounge at one side of the corridor, across from the nurse's station. This generally deserted place held a few couches and chairs, as well as a large TV. Stupid programs commemorating the new year were still being broadcast on that 28-inch screen. And there was a girl who looked absolutely bored watching that absolutely boring TV. Short, in pink pajamas, a white bracelet on her wrist, just like mine. Impressively long hair that almost reached down to her hips. Hey, do you find that interesting? There was no deep purpose in the asking, simply I had nothing else to do, so I started talking to her. Not really, was her only reply to me. She didn't turn to face me at all, and she kept looking on with boredom at that TV, as if I didn't even exist. Then don't watch it. Even as I thought this, I sat down in the chair next to her. Side by side we watched TV. Nothing else to do, nothing we could do. So we sat there, silently, and watched TV. New Year's celebration programs, as per usual, a useless array of comedians and oddities. And every so often, the MC's stupid shrill laughter, resounding dryly in this white, sun-drenched lounge. That's what it sounds like. Say, tell me. The girl suddenly started talking, but her eyes were always glued to the TV screen. How many times is it for you now? What do you mean by that? How many times have you come here? To 7F? Sorry, I have no clue what you're talking about. I see. So it's your first time then. So she'd seen my confusion about her question and come to the right conclusion. And since there's no one else around, and since it's my duty, there's this rule. Nodding slightly, she explained that the rule was that someone here, 7F, should tell newcomers the truth. I knew nothing, but I understood even less. And as if I did not even exist, she slowly started her speech. Then listen closely. Her words, spoken methodically, one by one, were a little different from all the ones I'd heard from the other doctors about this place. In their business-like crisp syntaxes, they'd told me, this is a place where one waits for medical advances. This is a place where the one heals one heart, and perhaps they might have been correct in general sense. But according to the girl, that was just a party line. The truth was that this 7F was the only place in the hospital where medical treatments did not take place. This was just a place where you waited for your life to come to an end. Those were her words to me. I thought so as well. I felt it even before she'd spoken. See, this is my second time. Second time doing what? Coming here. And then she explained to me that nobody on 7F stayed here from initial hospitalization all the way until death. While there was zero possibility of being cured, you were sent home if your condition was stable. But if it worsened again, you would be returned here. That cycle ended only in death. Whether it was at home or here on 7F, always one of the two. You were going to die. No way to escape it, it seemed. And with that meaning permeating her every word, she informed me that this was her second time up here. I'm only going to say this once. So listen closely now. She continued speaking, all the while staring at that blank TV screen. This wasn't idle chit-chat about when lights out was or where the kitchen was or anything like that. This was something completely different. The third time you are discharged home, resign yourself. There won't be a fourth time. You will never go home again. If you ever want to escape, head toward the B station, not the A station. Eat nothing. That is the simplest shortcut. You leave the smallest burden on your family that way. It was as if she was packed to the brim with matters like those. This was probably an oral tradition, relevant only to those who were going to die, and kept by those who came here for that purpose. So is this the duty that you were talking about? Yes, that's right. So do you remember to perform it for a newcomer yourself someday? Okay. Oh wait, no. So do you remember to perform it for a newcomer yourself someday? Okay. With those words, she slowly stood up. She casually tossed her long hair and raised my nose. I have to go get my temperature measured, so... Then she turned her back and started walking down the corridor, now completely deserted save for me. The lounge held only the laughter from the TV and the white flowers by the windowsill. In the end, she didn't even look at me once. Oh my god, there's more! No, I like it so far, and I'm not even doing anything. But I like it. That's weird. Man. A few days later, New Year celebrations were over, and the middle and high school students were beginning a new term. And just as ever, she and I sat in the lounge, staring blankly at the TV. This is boring. So it is. So we said, but both of us kept our eyes on the screen. Hey, is this place always this way? I don't understand what you're getting at. I'm getting at how it's always deserted. Other than the nurses, doctors, and help staff, and other than her, I'd not seen a single person. Did everyone go home after the New Year or something? Do you really want to know? Well, I didn't mean... Then I won't tell you. We, who disinterestedly tossed back and forth this exchange that could not even be called a conversation. A slight breeze coming from the window that would not open more than 50 centimeters. From time to time, her hair would sway, and as if in agreement, the flowers at the windowsill would too. This was how we killed time day after day, staring at that boring, good-for-nothing TV. Click, click, click. Oh, here the two of you are. An elderly nurse said as she rushed towards us. From what I'd seen of the nursing station, she was apparently the charge nurse of 7F. Well, Miss Satsumi, any fever? I'm fine, no fever. Satsumi? So that was her name. You really shouldn't be moving around like this. Do you understand? Everyone's worried about you. Well, whatever. Come now, what kind of answer is that? Oh, children these days. The nurse continued to scold and henpeck for some while longer, and the girl's name was Satsumi, just pretended not to notice it at all. She simply stared straight forward at that boring TV, paying that fussy nurse as little heed as she could. I'll be coming later to draw some blood, okay? With those words, the charge nurse went back to the nurse's station. Hey, you know, well, mind if I call you Satsumi? I asked this as I stared at her white vinyl ID bracelet and at the blood type and the name written therein. Is something the matter? Satsumi? Why are you calling me that? Huh? You're younger than me. Hey, why am I younger than you? Nothing. That's just what I thought, was all. It wasn't that I was offended that she called me younger than her. It was just that no matter how I looked at it, I thought I was 5 to 6 older than she was. And that's why I took out my driver's license from my breast pocket and handed it directly to her. See? I may not seem it, but I'm 20. So, you're younger after all? She only took a glance at my license before handing it back to me. I don't really get what you're saying. It doesn't really matter. I'm just a little older than you are, that's all. She murmured, as expressionlessly as ever. There we go. Her eyes were fixed on that boring TV. All right, but it also felt as if she was gazing at something far away. After they'd taken my AM vital signs, I snuck past the nurses and boarded the elevator. When I got to 1F, I walked out the outpatient clinic doors and walked outside of the hospital. My goal was the place that I'd been told about not long ago, the faraway B station, not the nearby A station. It wasn't that I wanted to escape or anything. At 7F or at home, none of us died either way. Anywhere else. That's what I'd been told. And this B station, which this girl named Setsumi had apparently been to many times. That's why, at least just once, I wanted to see this place with my own eyes. It's not as if there's going to be a guard on duty. Even so, we were inhabitants of 7F, different from other inpatients. And thinking of vague maybes, so early in the morning, I headed toward the station. My legs settled into a lazy gait as I glanced sidelong at the people commuting to school or work. After about 25 minutes of this, I arrived in front of the station. Roughly 4 buses stopped away when I calculated it out. Wow, there are a lot of people here, was my first impression of the B station. I stood out a bit because I was in pajamas, but I felt that if I could just buy a subway ticket, I'd be able to go anywhere, no question about it. I still had no idea why I'd been told to go to the B station, not the A station, but it looked as if it would be easy to escape if I really wanted to. She must have come here many times herself, so why does she remain on 7F right now? The station in the early morning. I stood there, thinking these thoughts, as I watched the people rapidly passing me by. That night, after lights out, bored of manga and unable to sleep, I wandered through the hospital alone. Certainly, it wasn't supposed to be allowed after lights out, but we of 7F had a peculiar kind of liberty. So in the presence of no light, in the pitch-black stillness of the lounge, that was where I found her. Hey, have you been looking outside today? Yeah. The darkened interior, she did not answer me. She did answer me, but she continued to stare at the window as if she had not. I immediately launched into what had happened today. Oh, by the way, I went out to the station today. The B station, just as you taught me. I see. But her response did not change. I thought that she'd react with something because she'd been there before too. But now that I thought about it, did the fact that she was here mean that she had no intention of escaping in the first place? I'm going to go home soon. I'm going to be going home soon. What? She opened her mouth abruptly and spoke as if she'd seen right through me. But next time will be the 3rd time, so we may not see each other again. Oh wait, no, that was a guy. Yeah, I guess. Probably what she was talking about was a temporary discharge from the hospital. She told me that nobody was discharged from 7F more than 3 times. Unlike the elderly, given the progress of our diseases, this meant all the more to young people like us. Her, we may not see each other again, was filled with that kind of meaning. Oh, it was her. Okay. Oh, which one have you decided on? Decided on? Where are you going to die? When that word death came up so abruptly, I was at a total loss for words. She said die. She did not say death. I don't know. I haven't thought about it yet. I see. It's just your first time after all. She murmured, looking desolate. Certainly, it wasn't as if I was going to exist here forever. Just like everyone else, I would be admitted and discharged, slowly growing weak, and someday, I would have to choose in the end, here on 7F, or at home, surrounded by those fake smiles. I don't want to die at home. But I don't want to die here either. Then what will you do? I guess the only thing is to go somewhere, while I still have the strength to. Somewhere? You can't be this girl who was staying here on 7F when she could have escaped any time she wanted to. When I thought of that, do you have any other place to go? Do you want to stop me? Or do you want to stop me? What? Or do you want to come with me? Well, no, that wasn't what I was thinking about. Then don't ask. She was staring out the window as she spoke, dispassionate, not looking at me once, the same as ever. But then, and just then, her usual expressionless face looked so very sad to me. I was a newcomer to 7F, just recently taught that the third discharge was the last. And she was a girl who soon was to be discharged for the second time. I still did not feel anything real about what was happening to me. But would I, too, come to wear such a face someday? The rain, at morning twilight, sometimes sleet, sometimes snow, always coming down. And I was sitting there, watching TV in my usual place. 7F felt as devoid of people as it always had. Anything interesting? No, completely boring. She walked to my side. Oh, she was talking. God damn it. Saying no more, she sat down in the chair next to me. And that was how we began watching TV on this very day as well. She was probably in the same boat as me. Nothing else to do, nothing we could do. Oh, I'd never seen her respond to the TV before. Is something the matter? Not really. Those were her usual words, but her response was anything but usual. And I looked at the screen, interested in anything that could move her so. There were nature scenes being displayed on TV. Beautiful hills and dales burgeoning with trees and flowers. Burgoning? I don't know how to say that word. And a vast spread of white flowers in this. I remember those flowers from somewhere. They looked very similar to the white flowers that decorated the windowsills. Could those be the same flowers? You know, the same as those over there? I pointed to the flowers by the window as I said this. No. Huh? Really? They're of the same variety, but they're not strictly the same. She glanced at the flowers by the window for a second, and then went back to gazing at the TV. She told me that they were different, but I couldn't see the distinction between the two. And it meant nothing to me whether flowers were the same or different. But what did mean something was this girl who usually never said a word more than she needed to. She was conversing in a rare form today, which was why I decided to follow along. Do you happen to know a lot about them? Flowers, that is? Not really. Really? But I don't see the difference. The flowers on the screen and the flowers in the vase to her side. I continued to talk as I stared vacantly at the two. Look. Are those orchids or lilies? See, they're pure right? I had no interest, yet I kept trying to make conversation. But she resumed her silence soon enough. And with her usual lack of expression, she continued staring at the boring TV. And just when I turned back to the TV, resigned to the fact that I get nothing more out of her. Narcissus. What? Those are narcissus. As she answered, she turned to face me for the first time. Her hip-length hair swayed. She pointed at the TV screen and looked at me. The ID bracelet on her wrist was white. Her skin was white, just like the flowers on screen. And I swore I could see a tiny smile on that face that was looking at me for the first time. That was adorable! That was awesome! Oh, that was good. I liked it. Man, I just read it. That's basically all I did, but I liked it. Really did. The Silver Coupe. Did we do that one? No, we did Prologue. We did Chapter 1. Oh, we still need to do Chapter 2. Well, thank you guys for watching. This has been half an hour, apparently. Jeez. Oh my god. That's a long freaking... And there's more! Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys want to see more, please give a like. And I want to do this new thing. Basically, comment any questions you have about me. I would love to answer these questions. And now, thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, please click that like button. If you guys want to see more of my videos, please click that subscribe button. Get out of here. And if you have any suggestions of games that you want to play, please comment those games below. And please comment any questions you have about Ma. And I will answer them in a video. Thank you guys for watching.